Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about parts 1 and 2 of The Daleks, which is the second story in Doctor Who. And as the name implies, we are introduced to the Daleks. But first I want to talk about part 1, because they aren't introduced till like the beginning of part 2 technically. So I think this episode does a very good job at building suspense, The TARDIS lands in a strange place, and like everything on the planet looks completely still. You very like nuclear waste vibes, so that is very reflective of the time it was made. It was made in 1963 and 1964, so the Cold War was a pretty big thing back then. Um, Episode one is mostly just the team, looking around this planet they landed on, and the doctor lies to everybody, and he's like, I have to get more mercury so the ship could leave. And the doctor's kind of an asshole still. He doesn't really get soft until later in the season. But they leave the ship, they enter this creepy little city where nobody is there, and eventually Barbara sees a Dalek, and a very frightening scene. Like I love shows like this where like you think you're alone but you're not. The whole like in space nobody could hear you scream shit. So they're walking around these creepy corridors, and Barbara sees the Dalek. She's out screaming, and it eerily leads into the credits. Probably one of Doctor Who's most memorable cliffhangers, if I'm being honest. So the next episode we meet the Daleks, and instead of exterminating everybody right away like they would do in later appearances, they simply stun Ian, and they're like, "You guys are Thals." Thals being, the Daleks' enemies from years back. And they're like, "No, we're not Thals. We're not on the radiation drugs or gloves," as William Hartnell's poor soul keeps saying. Well, he said it once, but, early onset dementia, I think. But honestly, you can't blame him, because they didn't have time to reshoot scenes back then. They didn't have that much videotape. So the others are too weak to go back to the TARDIS, so Susan has to go. And I think Susan does a lot in these episodes. She's not just tripping over things and screaming. She's actually like useful to the team, which is cool. Um, it kind of switches, because like Bob was less useful in these early episodes, but Seeker becomes more of a badass later on, while Susan kind of deteriorates. Something I've noticed. But I love the set designs. Like obviously it's very cheaply made, and it obviously wasn't made for like these fancy TVs we have now. TVs back then were like the size of my laptop, so you can't see the details. Though it's pretty clear that like we're supposed to be in this like endless hallway. It's just a wall, because you could see where like the floor ends, so that looked kind of silly. But you gotta put this into perspective in the time it was made, in the budget that they had. So you know the tension of the creepy city and meeting the Daleks, it builds up well, I think. And it's a very interesting first two parts to the episode. Much more interesting than the stupid caveman one we had before this. So let me know what you guys thought of this, and I'll be back to talk about episode 3 next week. I'm going to be doing these videos every Thursday until the new season premieres. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace.